You know, we check our phones about 144 times a day. That's kind of crazy. But what if the next great computing platform didn't have a screen at all? In this explainer, we're going to break down Sesame AI, a startup that's betting billions that the future of tech is a voice you actually want to talk to. Right? And it's not just a hypothetical. Some of the biggest investors in the world are pouring billions into answering that very question. And this one company, Sesame AI, thinks the answer isn't another screen to stare at, but a voice he'll genuinely want to interact with. So here's how we're going to tackle this. We're going to break it down almost like a venture capital case study. We'll start with their big idea, then dive into the unique tech that makes it all possible, their actual business model, the massive potential here, and of course, the equally massive risks they're up against. Okay, so first things first, let's dig into the core problem Sesame is really trying to solve, and that's our deep and, let's be honest, maybe slightly dysfunctional relationship with our screens. If you look back, computing has always been moving towards something more natural, more intuitive. We went from typing commands into terminals to pointing with a mouse, and for more than a decade now, we've just been tapping and swiping on touchscreens. So, the big question is, what's the next great leap? Well, our current setup has led to some pretty wild dependency. I mean, these numbers are staggering. We are completely glued to our phones. And yeah, voice assistants like Alexa and Siri have been around, but they've always felt too clunky, too robotic to be a real alternative for anything more complicated than setting a kitchen timer. And this is exactly where Sesame's big bet comes into play. Their whole solution really starts with cracking the code of a truly natural-sounding, emotionally intelligent AI voice, one that can finally cross that uncanny valley. The key concept they're chasing is this idea of voice presence. Now, this isn't just about understanding a command. No, it's about creating a companion that gets emotional cues, that can handle the natural back and forth of a real conversation, and that actually has a consistent personality. It's about feeling understood. So here's the technical leap they've managed to make. Think about traditional voice AI. It's like a bad translator. It hears words, turns them to text, thinks of a response in text, then reads that text back in a robotic voice. It's slow, and it loses all the nuance. Sesame's model, the CSM, it's completely different. It's a single system that understands the text and the audio together. This lets it grasp the entire conversational history and respond with incredibly human-like timing. You know, pauses, interruptions, maybe even a laugh, all in under 300 milliseconds.
And the result has been, well, a viral sensation. Early demos got these rave reviews, with journalists and early users just expressing total shock at how real the conversations felt. It really seems like Sesame is hitting a whole new level of realism for voice AI.
Okay, so you have this incredible tech. How does that become a real business? Because great technology is one thing, but a sustainable company, that needs a solid plan. And Sesame is tackling this with a really bold hardware and software play. Their business model is really two-sided. On the consumer side, they're planning a subscription service for their AI companions, which they'll eventually bundle with their own hardware. Then, for businesses, they're going to license out their powerful voice tech through APIs for pretty much anything, from customer service bots to assistants inside your car. And this really gets to their ultimate vision. See, Sesame isn't just another software company. The end goal here is a completely vertically integrated platform where they control both the AI and the hardware it lives on. In this case, lightweight, audio-first glasses that you could wear all day. And, you know, a vision this big has attracted some serious capital. They've already pulled in nearly $60 million from some of the biggest names in venture capital. That gives them the runway they need to go after this really ambitious hardware and software strategy. So, what's the potential upside here? If they actually manage to pull this off, what does that market look like? Well, to put it simply, it's enormous. Sesame is basically positioning itself right at the intersection of two absolutely booming markets. You've got wearable computing projected to be worth over $230 billion by 2030, and conversational AI, which is expected to hit $50 billion just a year later. And that huge potential has investors lining up. After the viral success of their demo, the company is reportedly raising another $200 million at a valuation north of $1 billion. That officially cements their status as a unicorn startup. But let's be really clear here. The path forward is anything but guaranteed. Sesame is taking on some incredible risks, from hugely powerful competitors to the just fundamental difficulty of building and selling hardware at scale.
you can really break the risks down into three big categories. First, model commoditization. Can their voice text stay unique when giants like Google and OpenAI are catching up so fast? Second, hardware execution. Building consumer electronics is a notorious graveyard for even the most well-funded startups. And finally, privacy. An always-on, always-listening device raises massive questions about public acceptance. Just ask Google Glass how that can go.
So what's the big takeaway here? Sesame AI represents this fascinating, truly audacious bet on the future. They've mixed groundbreaking voice tech with a bold vision for an audio-first world. But the real question remains, is this a brilliant dream that can actually survive the harsh realities of competition, manufacturing, and public trust? Well, that is the billion-dollar question.